Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I haven't got the piece there for you. That's because I'm just starting on this little selection of tutorials where I want to show you what you can do with the granny pattern. I mentioned in my previous tutorial that I'm going to show you different types of granny stitches that you can make beautiful blankets into. They won't be worked from the centre. This is going to be worked from the centre, and it's a combination of the granny cluster and the solid granny starting from the center. So what you will need is DK yarn, lightweight yarn, number 3, and a 4mm crochet hook. I've just got a bit of this lovely caramel brown, I think it's called, and I want to go straight into it and show you the pattern. So this is going to be a series of granny patterns that I'm going to show you. I've got the drunken granny, sober granny, tipsy granny, speedy granny, Sunday granny. So I just want to show people what you can do with the actual granny pattern. So it's one of the first few stitches that we learn. So this is the only one that's going to be starting from the middle, and I'll show you how to do this blanket. So what you want to do is a slip knot, and you want to chain 4. I've done this in a darker colour so you can see everything. Slip stitch into the first chain here to form a loop. Okay, so that'll be the loop that you'll be working into. There's a little hole there, see? So chain 2, and into the loop do 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the loop. You can hold this as you go along. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Do that again, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your granny cluster. The chain 2 will act as 1 double crochet. So chain 2 and go straight in and do 3 more double crochets. So yarn over, go in again, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So before I forget, yes, the granny is mainly a double crochet. So if you're not sure how to do the double crochet and you're a complete beginner, please go and have a practice at those, and then come back to this tutorial. I do have those videos actually if you want to go and have a quick look, practice them, and come back and meet us here. And you can slow me down and you can put subtitles on. Right, so chain 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, back into the loop again for 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, and then another set, another cluster of 3. Bear with me, my yarn. 1, 2, and 3. I always chain 1 when I'm closing off I just don't like the hole that it creates here in the corner. So go find there's 1 double crochet, there's the second one, there's my chain 2, 1 and 2, slip stitch into that chain 2, and that's your first round done. What I like to also do is flip my work. It keeps the work nice and straight, and you won't get a twist to it at all. So don't chain or anything, just flip your work, and we're going to do 2 rounds of the traditional granny. So go back into that space and slip stitch, okay, then chain 2 and do 2 double crochets. So that's the beginning of the corner, or the second half of the first corner. And again, you can chain 1 and go into there. If you are changing colors, chain 1 and then do the next bit. If you are not changing colors, which is what I'm going to do, don't chain 1. The reason why I say that is that we are going to put an additional double crochet in, but if you're changing colors, then you need that space really, because if you just do it in between the two of the clusters, it doesn't look right. I'll show you as I go along. So I'm not going to change colours, so I'm just going to go straight across and do 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Move straight over to the next corner, 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. It's always chain 2. Move straight over to this corner here, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Okay, we are back to that first corner here. So go into that space and do 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Then chain 1 and slip stitch into that second chain, 1 and 2. Okay, so it's just the normal 2 rows of the granny square, but we flipped rather than working the same way. So don't chain anything. Now we're going to do the solid granny. So we flip over, go into that chain space and pull up a loop. Chain 2. Now on a solid granny, we just do 2. So where we did 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3, for the solid it will just be 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So this is the last second half of the double crochet. Now you've got, this is what I was saying to you, 1, 2, 3 stitches there of that cluster and 3 stitches there. Now if you were changing colour, you'd have an additional chain 1 here. So yarn over, go into the first one and do a double crochet and double crochet and double crochet. If you've changed colours, you would have worked in that additional chain 1 that we did. But because we're not changing colours on this one, you just go in between the 2 spaces. You need that additional chain anyway. The reason why, as I've just shown you, you can't see because there's no, if this was a different colour, then you would see the stitch going in and it just didn't look right. So if you're changing colours, chain 1 in between your clusters. If you're doing it all in the same colour, just go straight into the space. Hope I'm making sense. Right, okay, so 3 double crochets here, and then do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Then do your 3 double crochets across, and always remember to put 1 in between the clusters as well. 2, 3, 1 between the cluster, then your 3 double crochets on top of these 3 double crochets, and then in the corner it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So 2 for the solid round, 1 on top of all the double crochets that you see. Always put an additional 1 in here, don't miss that one. And 2 in the corner, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Go across, 1, 2 and 3, then one between the cluster, and then your 3 double crochets on that cluster, and then in the corner 2 double crochets, chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of the chain 2. So this is what you have so far. So you've got a combination of the solid, and so we're going to do 2 rows of the cluster and 2 of the solid, but flip your work every time. Don't carry on, don't chain anything once you've slip stitched, and go straight into that space and slip stitch there, chain 2 and do a double crochet. Now work along all your double crochets. I won't give you a stitch count because I think they increase by, I mean, you can see them, right? I'm just trying to think. I didn't actually count. So I'm just going to work this all the way to the end of this round, and then I'll show you how to convert back to the other row. So that will be your last one, right? And then go into here, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Remember to flip your work every time. Now you can make squares out of this if you just want to make larger squares and attach them in different colours. That's also an option. And you can carry on to do your blanket. Remember 2 on the solid, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Nearly there. Okay, we're coming on to the last side now here. So last corner. Of course, also bear in mind you can use any yarn and any corresponding hook for this pattern. Okay, it doesn't have to be DK. I use DK majority because I make a lot of baby items, so my blankets are always in the lightweight yarn. Okay, and I will show you now. Remember, there's 2 here. Don't miss this one. Then go into the space and do your 2 double crochets, chain 1 and then slip stitch to the top of the chain 2. Okay, so what we've got now is 2 of the solid, the traditional, and 2 of the solid. And to revert back, flip your work, go into the chain space and do a slip stitch, chain 2 and do 2 double crochets, not 1 because we're on the cluster row. And to do the cluster row, to convert back to the cluster row, is very simple. You just skip the first 3, 1, 2 and 3, go into the 4th one and do 3 double crochets into that 4th stitch. And like I said, I'm not chaining anything, but if you are changing colours, then I'd suggest to chain 1. 1, 2 and 3, go into the 4th one and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th one and do your 3 double crochets. And what you will, because we've done this additional stitch in between, it all falls into place. So you'll have 3 stitches left, 1, 2 and 3. Go straight into the corner for the next one and do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. You see? So let me show you to the end of this row. Miss your 3, 1, 2 and 3, go into the 4th one and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, go into the 4th one and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, go into your 4th one and again 3 double crochets. And then you'll have 3 left, and then you go straight into the corner for your corner. 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. What you will do is you will carry on in the same manner, do your corner, come right to the end here. So when you've worked your way around, you will do 3 double crochets into here, chain 1 and slip stitch into that second chain, right? And then you'll flip your work, okay? So pretend we've flipped our work now, we're here. And you will just carry on as normal. You'll chain 2 double crochets and then go straight over into this bit, into there, and do your 3 double crochets here, 3 double crochets in here and 3 double crochets in here. Once you've done those 2 rows of the granny stripe, remember, if you don't, then you will be off. You want to do your 3 double crochets on your solid, then do 1 in the space as well. 3 and then 1 in the space. You're making an additional. And this is how it will look. I can hold it up to the light. So this is a mixed one, which is nice because, you know, it just changes it up a little bit rather than the straightforward cluster granny square. And if you're changing colours, then it's going to look even more prettier. So if you're changing colours, when you do your 3 clusters, 3 double crochets, chain 1 to move across. And then where we've put this, just put it through, because for this pattern, sorry, for the 1 colour project, you'd actually put it in the chain 1. Hope I've made sense. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this. Excuse me. And like I said, I've done 2. You can do 3. If you're doing changing colours, then go for 2 rows and 3 rows of the same stitch. If you're doing it all in 1 colour, you can either do 2, 2 and 2, 3, 3 and 3, or you can try and do 1 and 1. But I think you'll have more of an effect, really, if you go for the at least 2. This gives it a nice thickness, and then you change up your work. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you here with this. Any questions, just give me a buzz in the messages, and I'll get back to you straight away. Thanks for your support, everyone. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.